Tesla quarterly sales coming in over the weekend, or deliveries rather, disappointing. How big of a disappointment was it?
Well, they had expected, and investor community analysts had expected a drop-off because the factory in Shanghai was not operating for several weeks. We know all about the big lockdowns in Shanghai, and of course Tesla was affected by that. The slight issue was that it was even fewer deliveries than had been telegraphed and had been anticipated. So clearly a certain amount of cause for concern. The comments since then seem to have been broadly optimistic. The factory has been going gangbusters, we hear, since then. So as long as the demand continues to be there, then, the issues of supply tend to be just a blip rather than a long-term concern.
I guess, are those issues of demand there? Because we've heard from Elon Musk. He talked about with John Micklethwaite, that interview we heard from prior weeks there. We've heard about him cutting staff. So where is the concern coming from then? Well,
he had said that this quarter was likely, so before these production issues, was likely to be flat compared to the directly preceding calendar quarter, not a year earlier. It was up quite substantially still on a year earlier. Now, that perhaps gets at some of those issues of demand. We have generally seen maybe there's some sort of correlation between people who buy Teslas and performance of crypto, for instance. These are sort of relatively macro factors that can affect demand for those vehicles. It is still trading at a hefty premium, or a hefty multiple. It trades something like 59 times forward earnings. You compare that to the established car makers who tend to trade at less than 10 times forward earnings. So there's a lot of enthusiasm still around the stock, and the 12-month target price is still, I think, $150 above the 600 something is that right now.
I find this so interesting. What should we be comparing Tesla to when it comes to valuations? Who are its peers?
I mean, ultimately, Tesla's slightly dislocated from the reality of the automotive industry. Sometimes, the car makers that tend to be trading right up there that aren't in the electric space, think about something like Ferrari, right? It's framed itself quite well as a luxury brand, comparing itself to the like of Caring and those guys. It trades at about 35, 40 times forward earnings. So maybe that's a place where Tesla ultimately settles. Don't forget, Tesla already makes a lot more cars in any given year than Ferrari does. So nothing in the old automotive space is quite directly apples to apples.